everybody. Welcome to Talk the Walk here on Boss Social Network. I'm your host, the enlightened, excited Eddie B. Joining me is the celestial breath herself, Miss Celeste Roberts. Hello.
Hey, long time no see. A few days.
Yes. And of course, we got the sophisticated and suave Mr. Shane Kelley.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. And joining us, our special guest is the curious yet courageous Courtney Wood. Hello.
Hi guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes, welcome, everybody. We are doing Before the Storm from Life is Strange. This is a DLC content that came along with it. It's not going to be such a long show because the episodes were a little bit short. But before we go into it, Courtney, you were able to make the Life is Strange discussion. But we want to hear from you. What did you think about that game? What did you take away from it?
For that one, I don't know. Like, I had so much going on with that game. Like, I don't know, not necessarily like childhood trauma, but more like a reconnection with my past. And like, I don't know, it sparked a lot of joy whenever I started playing with it.
How was your decision making in it? Was it like something you would do in real life, or you were just like, you know what? What would be the opposite of what I would do?
It was literally the opposite of what I would do. I was like, all right, let's be bad guy this week. Okay, that was the wrong path. Maybe we have to do this other way, like it was just a back and forth with me. I wanted to do it the wrong way and I kept doing it the wrong way. And I was like, I want to see how the story would go on this way, not the other way.
And what did you think about the twist at the end of chapter 4? I think it's chapter 4.
I believe it's chapter 4. I literally had to just turn the game off. I was like, why? Why did it do it this way? It was like literally turn off, take a break from it, contemplate my life, and then go back to it.
And last but not least, what did you think of the music from Life is Strange?
I loved it. I actually have a Spotify playlist that is nothing but Life is Strange.
Okay.
I can actually find it one second.
Yes. Shane, that might be where you have to go because I think you said you can't find some of your music anymore. Well, you have the disc.
Oh, nice.
I like this one. However, in the game they have we'll talk about it more, but they have that fictitious band, Firewalk, and they don't have any music on here. So I'm like,
wow,
please include that. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes. Well, everybody, we got some trigger warnings for you for a little bit of this discussion. We're going to be talking about death, drugs, drinking, and attempted murder. But I got to open a question for everyone. How good are you at back talking to someone? Now, I'm going to say this. As a Black person in a Black family, there's certain people that you back talk to. You can back talk to your sisters and your brothers and your friends. You will not back talk to your parents because you would not be living by the following hour. Your soul will probably be somewhere in the street, and your body will be dead on the stairs somewhere. But I think if I back talk to somebody, I do it in a snarky, sarcastic manner, and sometimes I'll do it with my voice, like imitating them and taunting them and stuff. That's the kind of way that I back talk. Celeste, how do you back talk if you back talk?
I was a sassy teenager to my parents. I'm not gonna lie, I could be a little bratty sometimes. I remember my mom was driving us, and I had the first, no, not the first Evanescence album, but the one after the EP. I can't remember what it's called. I'll just call it Evanescence. With Amy Lee's face, the blue face, and my mom.
Immortal.
This is depressing. Yes, Immortal. Thank you, Shane. My mom was like, "This is depressing music. How could you listen to this?" And I said, "Well, she sounds better than you."
Oh,
And my mom ejected the CD and cracked it in front of my face.
Wow.
So, but generally, I do not backtalk to people. I try to maintain the peace. I bet you didn't see that coming.
No.
What about you, Courtney?
Well, no, I've been trying to do the whole back talking, but the closest thing I've got to back talking is my road rage because they can't hear me and I can't hear them. Like that's as close as my back talking gets.
What about you, Shay?
I don't. I'll tell you when that happens. I don't think I'm very good at it. If I have done it before, I'm not aware of it. Maybe the closest thing is certain people say ocarina instead of ocarina because you don't say octopus, you say octopus.
Oh, I love that justification for it.
So I'm guilty of saying Ocarina of Time because, and I will explain before we go on. It's one of the ninja guided things or ninja gated things. When you're not taught certain words, you just think that's how they sound and everything. Because just like Octopath Traveler, that's the way that they say it. So when you say ocarina, it's just I think it's that T that comes in. When you're so used to saying like stuff like October and everything, you know, instead of saying, you know,
like octagon
octopus.
instead of octagon.
Yeah. I think it's just the way that you are taught that to say because I'm guilty of saying caramel when it's supposed to be caramel.
No, it depends on your region. We could have a
Yeah,
whole
you can
episode.
say whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's praline, not praline. Sorry. I'm just picking. You can
Pecan or pecan.
on. But again, it's regional pronunciation.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into this discussion. This game was developed by Deck Nine. The background of Life is Strange Before the Storm is an episodic graphic adventure video game developed by Deck Nine and published by Square Enix European subsidiary. Its 3 episodes were released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One in late 2017. It is the second entry in the Life is Strange series, set as a prequel to the original game, focusing on 16-year-old Chloe Price and her relationship with schoolmate Rachel Amber. Gameplay concerns itself mostly with the use of branching dialogues and interacting with the environment. And so now, while it's been a while, the game is available for Android, iOS, Google Stadia, Linux, macOS, Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and the Xbox Series. The first episode, Awake, was released on August 31st of 2017. Episode 2, Brave New World, was released October 19th. And episode 3, Hell is Empty, was released on December 12th, 2017. There is a bonus episode, Farewell, which was released on March 5th of 2018. Before we get into it, what did you guys think about this game overall, in a sense? Because I know it's short, and I know it's still, some of the characters from regular Life is Strange do pop up in this one, but then there's some characters that you just don't see when Max is there. So I wonder, did some of the students leave and graduate, or is it just some characters they just didn't bring because they weren't part of the original game? They weren't thought of until this prequel or this DLC was there. Shannon, I'm gonna start with you. What did you think about this game?
Well, I enjoyed it, of course, because it's Life is Strange. But like you said, the actors, I think it's the Street Actors Guild and is it the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists? Mm-hmm. They were on strike, I believe, for almost a year, from I think October. I think I wrote down October 2016 to September 2017. So yeah, so they didn't really get a lot of their reprised actors. So you can tell, especially with Chloe, there's just a slight less excitement in her voice. It's not that she did a bad job. It just in the first one she had that exciting, more in your face type voice, where in this one it didn't. So it kind of lent to just a okay experience with her in this one. Rachel Amber kind of played almost a better part in this one as Chloe did in the first one. So, but overall, I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoy that the game incorporated different artistic mediums, including the play and D&D, to name a few. So, and then also the bands. So they got the I think the guy Skip is the security guard. He's also a musician. The band is called Pisshead. Choice name, but it's they incorporated pretty much all these mediums, and I loved it. So.
What about you, Corey? What did you think about this game?
I like the perspective of all the game, well, the whole game in general, like, because, like some people, they go through the divorces and whatnot. If it's a spoiler alert, sorry.
Nope.
But it's like, it shows you like a different idea of like what's going behind her, preferably Rachel, what's going on with her and how she's taking upon the story, how she's handling things throughout the game. I feel like it's more of a Rachel story than it is a Chloe story.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. What about you, Celeste?
I agree with Courtney because I mentioned in the Life is Strange episode that we recorded, Max kind of reminds me of Link from The Legend of Zelda. She's the link between the player and the world, and Chloe kind of serves that purpose in Before the Storm. She has a little, I don't want to say more personality, it's very different, more abrasive personality than Max, but are focused on Rachel Amber and her life plot. And I mean, yeah, Chloe does make some decisions and things, but I was really more interested in Rachel Amber.
Definitely.
Well, I say thematically with the characters, I think this game focused more on rebellion. The way that Chloe rebels against her mom's boyfriend at the time, how she rebels at school, but then how Rachel kind of also rebels against this goody two nature that she's been seeing from other people. And the way that she just left school so she could go on the train and everything, and just being that way and everything. So I think it's kind of being like, like Eric people say, this FU attitude, but I think it was more of believability in the characters because of the rebel. And definitely when you're a teenager, that's one thing that happens. You like to rebel against stuff when you're told things, or when you're forced to do things that you really don't want to do, or it's not cool or hip or whatever term is popular going through that time. You want to rebel. And I guess that's what I kind of liked about this game, though I kind of felt like this was more of a movie than a mystery in a sense to me. Because
like a mystery movie, or you mean
it felt like if I had made no choices and just seeing all the cutscenes and everything, this is a great coming to age movie and everything. I don't think there's not much mystical or magical realism to it like Life is Strange is. We get Chloe screaming and she's, kind of being the wind to blow the fire out more and more. But we don't really see that throughout the whole thing. Like
That's
it's
Rachel who does that.
yeah, that's Rachel. But and we thought we would see more of it and everything, because you would think that with Rachel and Chloe being around each other, that would be a power that she would use, and it kind of felt like they didn't use it enough. And I think it's because you wasn't controlling Rachel, you was controlling Chloe, watching
And
everything unfold. Oh,
I,
go ahead,
I,
Shay.
I think also they didn't imply that Rachel had powers, so maybe you as the player inferred that she has these powers,
Hmm.
and maybe I don't know, maybe they could have had another episode planned, or maybe they would have had other mechanics, but they ended up not doing that. But I I do think that that could have been an avenue they could have went down, but we kind of know the outcome of Rachel because of Life is Strange. So
Yes.
also I thought what was interesting too is I believe since Deck Nine that did this one, yeah,
Hmm.
um, they with their T-shirt designs based on what you picked, they had alternative dialogue. So they kind of used the style you picked as part of the dialogue with interactions with people in the game. So that was kind of cool because they did do that in the first one.
Yeah.
So
Yes. So, um, well, let's jump into a little bit of this. 3 years before the events of Life is Strange, 16-year-old Chloe Price sneaks into a concert at an old mill. Conflict arises when two men decide, but she escapes with the help of schoolmate Rachel Amber. The next day, Chloe and Rachel reunite at Blackwell Academy and decide to ditch class, hitching a ride on a passing train before getting off at a lookout point. So when you're on the train, you get to play two truths and a lie. Uh, what did you guys think about that?
Ooh, I think we need
Uh,
to rewind back to the mill. That's a big part.
yeah, we.
okay, go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry, you can't skip Firewalk.
That's Shane's
That
band.
yeah.
Okay,
I wish as a young adult or young teenager I could have went to this barn, which I have been to a barn concert before.
Wow.
But instead of the band name being Firewalk, it was Leisure Tube, and I don't think that was any better. But yeah, so it that whole scene there, they had a good 3+ minutes for that whole interaction of Chloe going up to the loft, watching the band. It reminded me of a Rock Band scene from the game. You just sit there and listen to it, watching the characters all move and interact, and it was just a great experience. And that's, I think, even though I did like Life is Strange's music, I really enjoyed this portrayal of actually going to watch a band and listen to them. Just put the music on the CD. So
I was afraid for Chloe falling off. Every time it looked like she got close and moving around, I was just like, if she falls off and this turns into a quick time event, I may have to let her get hurt or
It's the
fall on
next plot
somebody.
twist.
Exactly.
and I can see you like on the couch or on the edge of the couch eating popcorn, and as she's getting closer, you're shaking your popcorn and going no.
Yeah. Uh, anyone else about that area, about the beginning and stuff?
Get to see Chloe is really rebellious. She's a lot. I don't know if braver is the right term, but at 16, I've actually never snuck out before. I don't know if that just means I'm too innocent or something, but I've never snuck out. But I guess now as an adult, like I'm not a parent, but I kept worrying, like, girl, you're surrounded by these really sketchy looking people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially a lot of men, and there's drinking, there are drugs. Some of them have weapons on them. But Chloe, she holds her own. Like maybe I'd want her on my side in a bar fight. She backtalks the bouncer. She
Yep.
seems very confident in herself. So
I give it to them for the bouncer, the way that they wrote him. He acted. And he was just like, you know what, kid, yeah, go in. Now, just know I can't protect you, but I understand your rebellious behavior because I would, to be honest, I would was with you. Because he was just like, that's a Simone flower, and that, uh-oh. And that's when Chloe knew that she had him at that point in time. Um, so I also, before we go on, I thought, I'm like, I didn't take a shirt or anything, but I was wondering, I always wanted to be like, I wonder if I could cause a distraction by while he's on the phone and me lifting the park brake off and letting it roll to make a shirt fall
yeah.
off.
What about you, Courtney? What did you think about that?
I mean, I played it before a parent and after a parent. So before a parent, I'm like, yeah, like we can do this. We're unstoppable. Let's sneak out. I'll go find a place myself. But now, like playing it later, I'm like, oh, don't do it, kid. Don't do it. I know my mother, but I don't know about yours, and she's probably twice as crazy as mine.
I did like Rachel's hairstyle and feather earrings and stuff.
Yeah.
She looked pretty BA. But she kind of reminded me of Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
How her
yes.
hair looks. So.
Yes. So, but get into the train part, the two truths and a lie. What did you guys do? How did you feel about that?
Alternated answers.
Yeah.
I kept it to where they were friends.
Okay.
But
I did too.
Yeah,
Like,
as did I.
I didn't. I know Rachel was kind of. It really felt like Rachel was trying to force herself onto Chloe, and so I didn't feel like the love relationship that they was trying to input into this game was authentic. It wasn't real or believable for some reason. Like
Yeah.
Chloe doesn't seem like the lesbian type, and Rachel was just really trying hard in this game, design wise. They made her like really try hard. They're just like, this is not authentic.
I think if this scene happened after the play of the Tempest, it might make a little more sense, and maybe your choices would be different. But I didn't think it made. I guess you weren't really that deep into the game where you even as the player felt that way at all. So I think that's why maybe all four of us chose that in the first place, because it's not deep enough into the story to pick that.
Yeah. And Rachel's not only like, she's a very attractive girl, she's not only popular, but she's very smart, she's very ambitious, and she's very well liked by majority of the students at Blackwell Academy. By the way, Chloe goes to Blackwell Academy.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned that. She and Rachel are classmates. I guess, so this is honestly going through my head, Ed, how you were talking about it doesn't seem believable. Rachel seems like she has ulterior motives sometimes, and I kind of feel like she's someone who's used to getting whatever she wants. Like, she knows how to be charming. I'm not saying she's never genuine or caring, but I think she's used to being able to beguile people, and they go along with the whims, and they just get into her. So I kind of, this could be a stretch, but she viewing Chloe as a conquest. Like, I go through my rebellious phase, and I'm interested. Either she's bisexual or just curious. I don't know.
I think.
Go ahead, Shay.
Sorry, Ed. I was gonna say, based on later on what you find out about her dad, it almost seems like it runs in the family, that thing about being secretive, not necessarily lying, because no one really found out until later that she was dating Frank, stuff like that. And then with Jefferson later on. So it could be, maybe it's a it's a notch on my bedpost. I want that person. I'm going to go for it. No, it's not an answer.
Yeah, there's something about the persuasion and manipulation in this game that Rachel cuteness hides. It's a two-sided coin in the sense that yes, I'm cute, I'm beautiful, people love me, but I'm going to use that to my advantage to persuade you to do something, and I'm going to get out the benefit out of it. And don't care what the outcome is. I could get out of it because I'm a good actor, and everybody is fit to believe the way that she acted. Now, her getting the wine bottle, that was terrible. That was bad acting. But the way that she convinced the principal, where Chloe was just like, I know you was making this up, but it was good enough to persuade the principal that she did it. Chloe's gonna roll along, depending on your choice, but she did it. But the consequences wasn't dire. Missing a play. Do you think Rachel cared about that? No, not really.
You don't think
There's
so?
gonna be. I don't think she cared about that play.
She wants to be an actress, though. She wants to be on Broadway. She wants to be a model. She wants to go to Los Angeles.
Yeah, she does.
I don't know. What do you think, Courtney?
I don't know. I think it was like just kind of like a shot in the dark, and she was just kind of like hoping on whatever, what was ever going to happen was going to happen. But I mean, her friend did kind of, as we all played, kind of like turned her down. Wanted to keep it as friends. Wanted to keep it as a story. So I feel like it was kind of just one of those. I'm just going to throw this out here. Hey, I'm trying to do this fun stuff. Let's see what happens. And then we're all like, no. And she's like, whatever.
Yes. Well, let's see. The next day, Chloe and Rachel reunite at Blackwell Academy and decide to ditch class.
You skipped a really big part, Ed.
Which part?
Okay, so they're on the train and they get off at a lookout point, and there are people watching through a viewfinder.
Ah, yes.
Oh, that's what I was about to get to.
Oh, okay, because no, so they're on the train, they get to the lookout point, but you started saying the next day. This is the other parts all in the same day.
Oh, no, that's what you have down for the summary. You have the next day, Chloe and Rachel reunite at Blackwell Academy and decide to ditch class, hitching a ride at the passenger train.
Oh, I thought you were
getting off a lookout.
I'm sorry, you jumped. Well, it's not, okay, so the next day, Rachel and okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
I jumped to the next one. I freaked out. I was like, this is the most important part of the whole game.
Celeste is using your back talk.
This is my bad.
They people watch through a viewfinder and see a man and a woman kiss in the park below, which upsets Rachel. They take a walk to a local scrapyard. Chloe confronts Rachel about her change in mood, but she refuses to answer. So, we kind of find out. I knew something was wrong when she started talking about her parents while she was on the train, about her dad and everything. And so when you're going around doing a watch Friday after, you got the bottle of wine, everybody drinking and stuff, Chloe and Rachel are voicing thoughts of people and everything. And Chloe finds a guy kissing a girl and started making fun. Rachel sees it and runs away. Now, we see the girl in a few cutscenes before they even get to the people watching. And everything. So we see her because she's in white. And then when they see what the guy does, Rachel gets upset. It kind of starts blaming Chloe, and you can see the turn in her voice and her anger. That cuteness is gone away. So her true feelings are coming out. What did you guys think when you saw that? Celeste, I'm gonna go with you.
Okay. I apologize. I thought you were jumping the gun. I got so fired up. So I thought at first that the man was someone Rachel was in a relationship with. And I thought she was seeing him make out with another woman and she was jealous. Because she seems like the type to go after much older men at her age.
What about you, Courtney?
I don't know. Whenever I saw that, I was like, like what's going on with her? What's her? Why the? Like I didn't really see the point of it till afterwards. But I felt like okay, like maybe she's upset because she's just trying to get to that level, or maybe she even got uncomfortable with with them doing all that, and she's like, oh, okay, maybe I need to walk away from this because this isn't something that I'm getting. So now I need to leave.
What about you, Shay?
I actually thought that the girl was Rachel's mom. I thought the opposite. And then I find out it is her mom, but I didn't. I thought that was her mom, and she was meeting some strange guy, not her dad. So, so later on when I found out, this, it it made a little sense in my head. It just at the time I didn't put two and two together. So.
Yes, like for me, I knew it was the dad because of the black suit that he was wearing, and then the way that she was talking about. I think he was like a DA, and just the way that she goes about it. And I was just like, okay, who would be in the suit going to a park kissing somebody like that during like in the beginning of the day or wherever how long that train ride was at? Like something affected Rachel, and it has to be one of the parents. And just seeing that the man initiated the kiss, I'm like, that's her dad, and that's why she got pissed off.
I always thought that the couple were much younger than like her parent age till after finding out that it was, what was going on.
Yeah.
Yes. When Chloe meets Rachel later, Rachel explains that the man the two saw was her father, James, a district attorney, and that the woman he was kissing was not her mother. Rachel burns a photo of herself and her father, inadvertently causing a wildfire. Because she burns the picture, puts it in, and she doesn't kick the can over. I think that's when she yells and it falls over. And it started getting a wildfire. And Chloe's just like, what's going on? And then it starts getting bigger and bigger as she's yelling. So it's kind of like the scream, the sound effect, or the sound, the vibration or whatever, is causing the fire to spread. So it's kind of like that's her indication of wind? Question mark. Courtney, thoughts?
I don't know. That's why you gotta stay away from fires and wildfires. I feel like the aggravation of it, when it expanding, it's just the problem that's going to happen between her mother and her father, and like the heat of the moment kind of thing of what is going on.
Shay.
I don't know here. I feel the fire represents or Rachel. So I think her own personal anger is the fire, and it was raging. As the farther it got, the more angry she got. I don't necessarily know if she has powers, but the wind almost emphasized when she yells towards the fire, and then later she gets stabbed with a knife, that fire is extinguished immediately, and even the firefighters are trying to figure out what happened there. Also, I don't know if you guys remember, they had those like dream sequences with William as well, and William even talks about the fire. I wrote down actually one of the quotes he said because I thought it was kind of interesting.
Was it when it was at some car? When it was a big fire and it was roasted marshmallows?
Yes.
Okay.
They're sitting by the log there, and yeah, William says, "See, you're drawn to it. You don't even realize the danger." And Chloe says, "Danger?" William goes, "Fire blinds us just like darkness, but darkness blinds us with absence, with loss." And then Chloe says, "What does fire blind with?" And William says, "Beauty." So when I hear that, I think immediately, okay, Rachel. Rachel is one of the most well-liked people in Blackwell, Arcadia Bay. Her family's well known. Um, she is beautiful, and so I think that there she is one of the catalyst of the problems that are occurring, and later down the road, maybe she is the storm that is brewing.
And she does say that she is a Leo. So I don't know if astrology plays a part in this, in the sense. So,
I mean, it could.
But could.
I'm
a Leo. You never know.
Well, the next day, Chloe and Rachel are reprimanded by Principal Wells for ditching school. Chloe hides out at the scrapyard where she finds an old truck in need of repair, the truck that she has in Life is Strange. She then receives a call from local drug dealer Frank Bowers, who arranges a meeting to discuss settling her debt with him. Chloe agrees to repay him by helping him steal money from her classmate, Drew, who owes Frank a large sum. However, Chloe learns that Drew is being violently extorted by another drug dealer, Damon Merrick, and she must decide whether to pay off the dealer with the stolen money to protect Drew or keep it. So, Shane, thoughts?
Well, money I gave to Drew, or the whole purpose was he was getting money for his father, and so yeah, I'm not going to keep it for myself, and screw drug dealers. You don't get your money. I'll give it to someone who needs it, even though it wasn't the money wasn't obtained in the most moral of value. And then also you've got Drew's brother Mikey, and I don't know if you guys know, Mikey is the one with the D&D thing with Steph, and that whole thing's kind of a cool ordeal too. I don't know if you guys want to go into that now or just keep talking about this situation, but I did
go
like
ahead.
the D&D encounter.
You go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, so I think Chloe wanted a pirated copy of a movie, and Steph has it, and so they end up asking her if she wants to play D&D, and I don't know if you guys partake in it, but it's real fun.
I did.
Just the whole dialogue and everything is really cool, and I've never actually played like a full campaign of D&D. I've played other games like Mothership, that is like D&D. I even have my own D&D game that I've written in college that I've never played, but it just was fun just to see the setup, the dialogue, the interactions, and kind of a future potential seeing of Mikey and Steph in later games. So
I remember she was trying to get Blade Runner, a copy of that.
yes, it was Blade Runner. Yep.
Yes. Celeste, what did you think about that?
So the junkyard, the scrapyard they hang out in, you see it in Life is Strange, and it's really cool in Before the Storm because you get to see how Chloe and Rachel decorated and make it their own place. I love the little touches in the game where you can customize things in Chloe's truck as well, with flags and drawings, and even like a little bobblehead.
Yeah.
So I have never done drugs before, except the ones prescribed to me by a doctor. No judgment if you have. I wouldn't even know where to begin to go. So this sounds like a terrifying situation to be in, where you have to pay a drug dealer. So it's almost like Chloe has to steal from Peter to pay Paul, essentially. And I saved the major decisions on our notes, and that's a huge decision. You have to decide whether you're going to give Damon the money or stay with Mikey in Drew's room, because Drew is a Blackwell Academy student, and his little brother Mikey stays in his dorm room with him a lot, their dad is their dad like a mechanic or something? I think he's struggling to pay bills or something. They're having financial
struggling
issues.
with bills.
Yeah, so that Drew's intentions with the drug money are to help his dad. So it's like a noble ambition. It's not for himself. He's very, very protective of Mikey. He's a really good older brother. So when it came to that situation, I actually gave Damon the money, and that results in Mikey running out and trying to. Is that correct? Like Mikey runs out, and that's where Mikey gets injured. Correct? It's the one where Mikey gets injured.
Yes.
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 But if you do, I looked up the results of the opposite. If you do the other scenario where you stay in the room with Mikey, Drew gets injured. So what did y'all pick?
Oh. I did the one where Mikey got injured, so Drew one that would have been awful to like really witness.
I think the door's closed and you just hear Damon beating him up. What about you, Ed and Shane? What did you choose to do with that?
Mikey getting hurt.
So that's 3 for 3. What about you, Shane?
I gave the money to Drew. So I don't know who gets hurt. If anybody gets hurt.
You gave you gave Damon the money and Mikey.
No, I gave Drew the money. I didn't keep it, and I didn't give it to Damien.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
Is that how it works? Yeah, isn't it? You can keep it. You can give it to Damien, or you can give it to Drew.
Yeah, but Mikey got hurt in your scenario.
I can't remember. I gave it to Drew. So whatever happens after that.
Okay. I know there's a scenario where you just get in the room with Mikey. Drew gets injured. Instead of Mikey. But, yeah. What about you, Ed? What did you think about that?
It was kind of hard because I'm just like, like you said, robbing Peter to pay Paul and all of that mess. And I was just like, you know what? You put yourself in the situation. But I am I really care for Mikey. I thought he was a cool kid. So I kind of wanted the best, but I was just like, I got to make this decision. And it sucks, but seeing Mikey get hurt, I'm like, it is what it is. You'll survive. You're not gonna die. So, but let's see. Okay. Later, when the student is unable to participate in the school's theater production of The Tempest due to world closures caused by the wildfire, Chloe reluctantly takes on the role opposite Rachel. After the play, they decide to leave Arcadia Bay with the truck from the scrapyard and return to Rachel's house to pack. Following a confrontation there, James reveals that the woman they saw him kissing was Rachel's biological mother. Twist!
Drama. Arcadia Bay is full of drama. I'm telling you, these small towns. I live in a small town. There is drama.
There really is. In every small town there is.
I guess we have nothing else to do.
No.
What did you guys think about that reveal?
I kind of thought that it was like back to the beginning of it and Rachel being upset. I thought it was like, kind of like a wasted energy now. Like now she's feeling dumb, kind of like, oh, so like you're not cheating, ? Like she's now confused. I mean, because I would be confused. I'd be like, okay, so who's the lady that, has been my mother? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about you, Celeste?
I was kind of wondering, why is he kissing her? Is he having his cake and eating it too situation? Is he still in love with her? And you do learn, like he tells you the whole. It's a cool little part where you can play through his memory and walk around as James. And I think they were high school sweethearts, and they got married right after. And then they had Rachel, but the mom was her name was Sarah, and she was a drug addict, and he was worried about how she would influence their child Rachel and everything. And it sounds sounds like James was more ambitious and ready to grow up, and he wanted to have really high goals of becoming an attorney one day. So they separated, and he tells Rachel that he continued to pay Sarah, not child support, but I don't know if alimony would be the right term, but he supported her lifestyle. He helped her pay her bills.
Shay, thoughts?
Yeah, just why are you kissing her? Yeah, you're married, and then it's okay to kiss this lady that
Yeah.
you had a kid with. Okay, I don't know how that relationship works, but seems a little strange. But life is strange, so I don't.
Do you think Rachel's stepmom knows what's happening? Do you think she has any clue that there's?
That's another question I was gonna say. What does she have to say about this? When were they going to tell Rachel? Were they going to tell Rachel? Because how old are they? What, 15, 16 in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would think if you were, you weren't someone's biological daughter, you'd probably be telling them as soon as they could understand. I don't know.
It's kind of weird because if you look at it, Rachel hair is different between the stepmom and the dad. Like looking at it, the stepmom doesn't have red or blonde or brown hair. It looks like she had black hair, and the dad had black hair. In a sense, you don't really see because Sarah's hair is blonde. I don't know if that was her natural color or she had dyed it. You kind of don't get no indication that Sarah and Rachel, were connected because there has to be some kind of DNA, and it didn't look like it at first to see if they are connected and everything.
Yeah.
So at the time watching it, I just thought that it was a girlfriend that the dad was shacking up with, bang skeeted. Side piece. Oh, yeah. And so when this reveal happened, I don't know about this reveal. It kind of felt like, oh, we're just throwing this in to hide in the game. Like it could have been anybody. Like it could have been David's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, that's a stretch. David Madsden, like
yeah,
Chloe's mom's boyfriend.
Yeah, but
that's
like
hilarious. That would be funny.
But think of that being a more impactful twist than what was shown to us. Because think about it, your dad is kissing my mom's boyfriend ex.
I'm not following that. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean to
pitch it to Deck 9.
Yeah.
Right. So it's upsetting. So it's upsetting Rachel, but then it's blowing Chloe's mind because it's just like I got some dirt that I could tell my mom right now that will break up or mess up their relationship.
So wait, she's not David's ex, right? You're just saying what?
No, I'm just saying if that was the case.
Oh,
to hide
better
it.
Story behind
well,
it.
why would that break them up if that's an ex? Like
because it was just like, did you know who David ex was? And so Chloe would probably try to find each and everything to see how it would make David look bad to use it. And why not try to lie to my mom? I'm on drugs. I'm hiding all of these secrets. Why not try to persuade my mom to break up
Chloe would leverage this.
Yes.
Somehow. Okay.
Now we need a whole section on just David and his life.
Yeah, it would be Life is Strange Before the Storm Part 2.
Yes. Desert Storm, because I think he served in Desert Storm. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
FYI, David might show up later too if you guys haven't played other games.
All right. Rachel is told that her biological mother, Sarah, is a drug addict and that on the day her father kissed her, he had rejected Sarah's plea to be reunited with Rachel. Chloe vows to find Sarah. Chloe contacts Frank, who agrees to meet her at the scrapyard. She prepares the truck there before Rachel arrives. They are ambushed by Frank and Damon, who stabs Rachel after he realizes she is the district attorney's daughter. Surviving the wound, Rachel recovers at the hospital. Chloe continues the search by investigating Jane's office for clues about Sarah. So now we're getting close to the or we're in episode 3, and the mystery is kind of unraveling and everything. What did you guys feel about this? Celeste, I'm gonna start with you.
What's the name of that boy who's obsessed with Chloe that they had like a one night stand or they hooked up a little bit? Evan?
Uh,
I can't remember his name.
he had like
He texts her
he had,
every now and then.
it's not Drew. I know who you're talking about because he was trying to take Chloe out to the movie, to the Tempest play and everything.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember his name. He shows up while you're scrounging around in James' office, and he gets really aggressive. He is not a fan of Rachel, actually, and he thinks that she's a bad influence on Chloe. So on one hand, I agree with him. He's trying to protect Chloe, but he's also, the way he's talking to her and he's treating her and he's trying to prevent her from moving around, I think he grabs her pretty aggressively. He's very forceful, and that was making me very uncomfortable with how he was treating her. I did not appreciate that. Yeah, Chloe can take care of herself for the most part, and I did not like how that dude was talking to her and treating her. I do think it's, I think it's intentional, obviously, that the play they're performing is The Tempest, which is about a storm, and like a strange storm is heading to Arcadia Bay. And thank you for pointing out the William sequences, Shane, because I also think it's funny that they focus on William Shakespeare. And her dad's name is also William. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or both the play is prophetic and symbolic, and then her dad is also trying to be a sage. I don't know.
Leads into me thinking that the raven symbol for Chloe is William guiding her to the truth. And I don't know, just maybe, the raven flies to where Rachel is and she follows. Maybe it's just her dad, trying to steer her into, I don't know, whatever path that's going to lead to.
So I believe you're talking about Elliot, Celeste.
Elliot. It starts with an E. Yes. Elliot.
Yeah.
He's a forgettable but annoying character. I think he's what the kids call an F-boy. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that the correct type of person for that?
Courtney, what did you think about this section?
I don't know. I was kind of like cautious about it because they are still teenagers and an adult like trying to talk her into not telling Rachel what was going on. It was kind of, I guess like a little trigger warning, but I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, she is pretty like responsible adult, kind of like she's very mature for her age is what I've gotten off of the story. So I knew she could handle herself. I don't know. I was just kind of off by it when he was all like, like don't tell her, pretty much.
What about you, Shay?
I don't know. I didn't care for this portion of the game. It wasn't my favorite. I just like the I don't even know how to say it. It was the lull, the boring part of the game for me. So I just clicked things and made them happen. And Elliot, again, I didn't even remember his name. I just knew I didn't care for him, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, Chloe continues the search by investigating Jane's office for clues about Sarah. Chloe learns that James is crooked and has been in contact with Damon. She then finds out that Damon has kidnapped Sarah. She races to Damon and Sarah's location and learns that James wanted him to kill Sarah. Frank appears and confronts Damon, presumably killing him. Sarah is saved and begs Chloe to never tell Rachel about James' actions, not wanting her relationship with her father to suffer. Back at the hospital, Chloe is faced with the choice: tell Rachel everything or protect her from the truth.
Ed, what do you think of all this?
I um hmm. It wasn't it was okay. It wasn't dramatic. I thought it was gonna lead up to something to be like, what's going on? What they gonna It was just like, okay, they had to, I don't know, it was just like eye rolling to me in a sense. Like nothing was hiding or anything. It really felt like we lost the way of the story. So now we need to just throw something together to make it happen, to make it entertaining. Because how are we going to wrap this thing up? Because it really doesn't focus on Rachel. It doesn't have what was Rachel doing in the first game that actually led up, well, not the first game. The clues that Rachel was leaving in the first game, where 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 can we see them in this prelude? Like, and like the pictures and everything. It was just, I don't know. It was just like, this was written and really thrown together just to have something hiding to end it and everything. Because you would think that with Rachel's power and stuff that she would scream when they were at the junkyard, and her and Chloe would get away, and then things start happening and everything, and it just didn't feel that way. Um, Anybody else? That was me. I was just like,
Underwhelmed, Ed.
I think we all felt that way. We just kind of wanted to hurry up with this one because it was too gruesome. It's too much going on in so little time, and you're like, okay, what's next? Because this isn't doing what I need it to do.
Well, that's a good point too about how Rachel was able to scream once, and it seemed like she had mystical powers. Yet that's the only time you see that happen, unless you believe that she's controlling the storm heading to our bay later. Okay. So, did anybody else feel this way during the Sarah sequence at that barn? Again, you're back at the barn where Firewatch played. Firewalk or Firewatch?
Firewalk.
Firewalk played. Thank you, Shane. I thought that was a dream sequence. I thought Sarah had actually died, and you are having these dreams where you're talking to her. Did anybody else get that sensation?
A little bit.
yeah.
It seemed really surreal. I was like, oh, is she? It just like she seemed really lucid, and she was being very wise. So I thought it was kind of like a William sequence, Chloe. But apparently she's alive.
And
That is interesting.
what's really weird, if you look at the connection to the first game, both games, in the last portion of the game, there's always a barn. What is it about a barn in this series that just makes things like uneasy? Is it because that no one thinks about it? It's so basic, so you just like, oh, it's a regular barn, farm animals poop and all of that stuff. But then don't realize that sometimes the most the most basic unaware things, like you don't think about it, has something hidden in it. When you look at Life is Strange, the barn was hiding the teacher's studio, and and his craziness. And this one, it was just like yes, they're doing it for their concert, but then they're also doing it for this portion of the game. Like
Yeah.
it's the biggest set piece to end the game.
Yeah,
In a
everyone
sense.
came. Everyone came for the hoedown, but didn't get that. So, so some thoughts on this. So, it's already hard to trump the ending of Life is Strange, or I should say even chapter 4. You finding that out at the end. So this already here has to be a different ending. So maybe it's strewn together to kind of, I don't know, just be a Christian, like a lead up to Life is Strange, but it already is failing to meet that just because the first game was so good.
Yeah.
The other thing is with Rachel, I'm thinking the symbolism of the fire and then her getting stabbed later on and the fire going out is symbolism of Rachel living a high and extreme lifestyle and then being snuffed out as she gets killed. So I think that whole symbolism of that, and then the chaos of the storm is people not knowing where she is, not knowing what happened to her, and trying to discover what that could be.
That's a great
That's really deep.
thought.
Yes. What about you, Courtney?
I don't know. Shane pretty much hit it on the head if you really think about it. I didn't even think of it that way, you know, like, wait a minute, now I gotta go back and find the pinpoints of what, you know, the barn represents, the fires and whatnot, because it does make sense. It's like, oh, there it all is.
The fire, fire is just, it's exciting. It's, it's alluring. And that's what Rachel was. Rachel is exciting, alluring. She's passionate and burning brightly for everyone to see. But then she's gone, and the fire goes out, and you're not there anymore. And what's happened?
Right.
Why did the fire go out? And why did the firefighter say, how did it go out? Well, that's the question we have with where's Rachel, Amber in the next game. So.
Yeah. Well, everybody, we're going to get into our final portion of this show.
Oh,
go ahead, Celeste.
The major decision, is that what you're going to talk about, or are you going to talk about something else?
We're going to get talking about the major decision.
Okay. I was about to freak out there.
Okay. So the major decision was, were you going to tell Rachel or not? Celeste, since you're super excited, I want to start with you. What did you choose?
I withheld the truth. I didn't think it was my place to tell her. It was hard.
Okay.
It was a very difficult decision to make.
Okay. Courtney.
I
Did you
did the
tell the
same.
truth?
I didn't. I was like, nope, because I just felt like it was gonna end up being like an emotional roller coaster type of ending, and I'm too scared to even find out. So.
What about you, Shay?
Totally lied. I play Life is Strange. I know Rachel isn't there, so I guess to me, I'm like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want any consequences with your family. Yes, I'm a bad person for not telling you, but I'm going to lie to you. So.
I did not tell her the truth.
All four of us?
You know
We're
what?
so scared.
It wasn't such a scared thing. I think it was more of feeling for Rachel in a sense. To be like, I don't know if I'm going to lose my current best friend, and I don't want her to leave if case Deck 9 writes her out of the story like that, in case like her bleeding, like, yes, of course we know that she died in the first game, but we didn't know that it was just like, what if she did have eternal bleeding and she almost, died. And you, as Chloe, don't want to end on that sad turn, even though she did survive everything. So I kind of just feel like I I love you enough to hold this back and everything. You know, for once in my
Sometimes you have to do that,
Yeah.
yeah, because I feel like Chloe, in this sense, like honesty, I I can't tell you the truth because it hurts you. I probably could have told you anything else and get any kind of reaction, but I know in the end you will always come back to me. This could ruin a lot of things. And right now, you're all I have. And I will do everything to keep all that I have.
I love that, Ed, because she lost her dad. She's her relationship with her mom is she's kind of not nice to her mom all the time. She's not
Hmm.
happy with her mom's boyfriend, David. Also, the messenger usually is the one who gets the really crappy end of the deal. Whenever you're the one to bear bad news, even though the messenger shouldn't be. I am curious. Whenever I play these kinds of games, and I like to go on YouTube and look up the scenario of what happens if you pick the opposite of what I picked. And yeah, did y'all ever watch that? What happens if you tell her the truth?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
There's a big fight at the Amber residence, and like a table shatters or like some glass shatters. Like it's dramatic, very dramatic. I think the mom, her stepmom, is even fight like well, probably because my husband was arranging to have the mother of his child murdered, and he's talking to drug dealers. That's I don't know. I think for me that'd be grounds for divorce.
And it's really kind of weird to think of it now that you didn't tell Rachel the truth, and then seeing Chloe be killed, and so Chloe is leaving the world with that secret. So Rachel and Max don't know anything about what happened, and plus we don't see the parents in Life is Strange. Uh, all we know is pretty much Frank in the town. So uh,
And he and Rachel were having an affair,
yeah.
which is she's much younger than he is, by the way. He's like a grown adult. He should not be hanging out with someone her age.
So it feels like after she got out the hospital, something happened between their friendship where Rachel ended up with Frank. And so Chloe ends up still losing Rachel, even though she cared for her as a friend until Rachel's disappearance.
This is a great game, but dang, it goes into so many dark directions.
Yeah, so it's kind of just like it doesn't click on because this prequel came out before the main game. And I think if this dropped first before Life is Strange, like the official one that you got, I think a lot of questions will be raised, but I think a lot of decisions will be different. And the game would have a different kind of mystery to be like Max. I mean, Max going to Chloe to be like, you need to tell me everything. What secret? What did you witness? What stuff did I reveal that I feel like you know about? What are you holding for me? I want to know everything. If we're going to be friends or partners in this situation, I want you to be front and honest with me.
That's a great point, Ed, because knowing what we know now, if Rachel was missing and Chloe's wondering where she is, knowing that her mom was alive, I'm curious if she was like, maybe Rachel ran away with Sarah. But that's never brought up in Life is Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to talk about. You want to talk about the ending of this game?
I mean, you can.
you see there's like a close-up of a cell phone that's ringing. Chloe's calling Rachel's cell phone. And in the background, you see flashes, and you hear a camera snapping. And if you played Life is Strange, you know that it's Mark Jefferson taking photos. What do you think about that ending?
Which, yeah, that's almost creepier than the actual scenario with the dad. So.
Yes.
Courtney, what
So.
Oh yeah, no, I'm right behind him. It was creepier. It made me definitely have to like reevaluate my life, kind of. Had to stop the game. Like,
Does it? No, I don't have children, but does it? Like how you were saying, and I was saying, like, you know, if I were 16, I would have gone to the barn, but like as a parent, I view it differently, or as an adult, I view it differently. Were you kind of thinking about, like, what if that were my kid with this creepy teacher taking pictures? And did you ever have those thoughts, or got really protected?
No, but now I will.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned in other episodes, I do not like taking pictures as a mechanic in the game. So this really reiterates why I don't like camera type things in games.
So I'm fine with taking pictures in games and everything. I think when you see something like nice, like people can see my photographs from Ghost of Tsushima because of how artistic it is and everything. But then you could also see the nonsense that I have from Harvest Moon with some of the characters in the dialogue to be like, it's a sunshiny day and it's raining in the background. Like the irony and everything. So I think taking pictures could do something. I didn't feel like this was creepy or anything. I feel like they had to connect it somehow that it was happening and everything. I think if it was going to be like literally creepy, I something else would have to happen where I just feel like, man, how would this, like, how do you heighten this and everything? Do you like have a notebook fall and it says Rachel on it while flashes is going off? Or the first flash that you hear clicks, like you don't see what's going on, but you hear a notebook fall and it says Rachel, and then you hear a click and it goes black.
I do think that this is a good ending, whereas people who have played Life is Strange know how it's connected now. And then people who play the first, maybe they play this one first, then Life is Strange, can then now segue to the next one and kind of expect something in the next one. Now Rachel Amber's gone in this one. The ending was foreboding of something, and now here it is connecting in the next game.
I also wonder how in the world did Mark Jefferson buy like all of these red notebooks and no one questioned?
Because he's a teacher, probably.
They were on sale at Target.
He needs He needs it for his class. He needs it for his class. Yeah, I teach a photography class, and a lot of teachers have to buy school supplies for their classes. So.
But you would think that, let me not be suspicious by getting one color. Let me buy random colors and everything. Why stick to red? Now, does the red mean something?
It means
red
blood.
Usually means, I was going to say warning of some sort.
Warning.
And it's kind of weird
red.
because, but it's funny. Going back to Life is Strange, is that everything is so washed out and monotone and monochromatic, and this red stands out.
So now thinking about it, you in a dark room, it's red. You develop photos in red light.
Yes.
Okay. That's a great point.
That kind of why I kind of think it was red, but I guess I didn't put too much thought into this. But
if you think about it, he's a photography teacher.
Yeah.
It's a red notebook.
Yeah. When the red light's on, you don't come into the room.
I mean, to me, if you want to be sneakier, you would have bought it like a monochromatic color, like gray or black, so they wouldn't stick out.
Or
Mhm.
put something on the front that says, "This is not my killing diary." Or, just
I think he gets
people will stay away.
And last but not least, I'm surprised they didn't have. Not saying the butterfly effect, but I don't think I've seen the blue butterfly come into play.
No, it's like the all-seeing eye on the triangle, like
Yeah.
the Illuminati symbol.
Yep. And then they even have the Illuminati shirt that you can choose to wear.
Yeah.
So,
I think so, right? That's the one that's
Yeah.
used whenever you make a decision.
Mhm.
Little, I don't
So
know.
are we also going to
Well-
talk about the farewell part?
oh,
Very
go
short.
ahead, Shane.
Extremely short.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just going to say the farewell thing was, I think, was a bonus episode, and it was with Chloe and Max before. I think it was the day of, or a couple days up, leading up to Max leaving for Seattle. So
Mhm.
kind of goes through, kind of connects the past with the future of how Max and Chloe knew each other. I don't know if you guys remember any details. I remember her just walking around the house looking at the pictures and playing in the backyard and stuff. But I don't know how old they were in there.
Like 13.
11, 13, 12,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
They're pretty young.
It was good though. It's really
Yeah, I
it's very
enjoyed it.
touching. It's very touching because it kind of like a coming of age story of, oh my gosh, my best friend's moving,
Mhm.
and to couple it, William dies. Just that's a huge amount of trauma for anybody, much less a child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's out of all of these games, I mean, for the Life is Strange and before the store, how many deaths are there? We know Chloe, Rachel,
William,
Nathan, William,
um,
Victoria. That's not finalized. I'm just saying, but people did die in the game, in a sense. David did die when he was
David
trying to
died.
rescue Max. Max.
But the weird part is this is
Okay.
like within 3 years of all these deaths happening, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
from 13.
18.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe a little longer than maybe about 5 to 6 years.
By the way,
The
that
person they get.
the triangle with the eye is called the Eye of Providence, and if you're American or you've seen American money on our $1 bill.
Yes. Well, we're gonna get into our last portion, our thoughts about this game. Celeste, I'm gonna start with you. What are your thoughts about this game?
I just want to point out, Shane, that the city seal of Kenosha, Wisconsin has the Eye of Providence.
Oh, okay.
Just fun fact.
That David knows
I
about that.
will. I'll let David Geisler of Another Self Podcast know.
Yeah.
That's where he's from originally. I really love this prequel. I'm really happy that they decided to make it because I think it provides more closure. Because we know Amber was having an affair with Frank and Mark Jefferson, and we know that she killed at some point before the events of Life is Strange. But I think she's such a mysterious character that I really liked getting to see her more, and I like seeing what shaped Chloe. I especially like that farewell episode, seeing trauma and the trauma of losing her dad and her best friend moving at the same time. So I think you need to play this game. If you haven't played it and you love the Life is Strange series, you have to play before this. It's short, pretty short.
Okay. Shane, your thoughts.
I love the music again in this one. I think it really amps it up a little. Trump's a little more than I like it a little more than the Life is Strange soundtrack, just because of Firewalk. Um, Also, I think they really make the arts shine in here with theater and with the D&D and with the bands, musicians in there. So I really enjoyed that portion of it. So the story was okay. I still, again, don't have a least. I do have a least favorite Life is Strange, but all of them are very good. It's like Zelda for me. All of them are good, and just you know, and I didn't care for some of the voice actor changes. I it's nothing against the voice actors or anything. Just when you're used to something and they change it, and you're expecting a certain persona, certain voice to be backed by the character you've witnessed before, um, it just brings you out of it a little. It's kind of like movies where they change the actor, actress that you're used to, and then you get somebody else, and it could go either way. It could be a better choice, but in this case, they were good, but not how I was hoping they would be. So, but I definitely recommend this game here. So,
Courtney, final thoughts about this game?
Okay, so I'm gonna jump back to Shane's with the voice actors. It kind of reminds me of whenever they did the Halloween Town series, and then they jumped into the the Return to Halloween Town. Is that kind of like the vibe you got off of it?
now that you say that, yes. Yes.
So what happened? Okay, can you give me a little background about that?
They changed the main actress for all. So there was the main actress for all three of them, and then the fourth one they changed the main actress to someone else, and they didn't say why. They just kind of played it off. Oh, that's the same person. That's the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely not fun. But
no, I get it when an actress passes away in real life and then they gotta substitute someone. AKA, I was gonna say Dumbledore. I was gonna say like in the Matrix, the Oracle lady. She passed away after the second movie. They got a new one for the third one. But then you got like people who played Rhodey as War Machine in the first Iron Man, and then you got Don Cheadle then playing in the next ones, or even Mark Ruffalo switching out for Ed Norton. So.
Okay, so was that all, Chloe?
Courtney?
oh, me. I was like, wait, who's Chloe?
Chloe just joined the chat.
Yeah, no, I guess same thing with him. They were very detailed about the Shakespearean whatnots. They were very detailed about the D&D. Like they really took their time on that. I wish they would take their time more on the story that they had. But either way, I'm happy with the ending, I guess.
So, go ahead, Shane.
Sorry, I was going to say, I knowing Deck 9 then and playing the True Colors game, they really amped it up there. So I hope for the next game that they really, blow it out of the park. So.
Oh, definitely.
So for this one, I have a mixed bag with this one. I think the beginning and like half of episode 2 is strong, and then I just feel like episode 3 lost me. It's just it felt like when they tried to do the reveals and the twist, it kind of felt, and definitely with Rachel getting stabbed and going to the hospital, it kind of felt like they lost the story and they lost the interest. And so I would say I would recommend people play it, but I don't think you're going to get involved. I don't think you're going to be like engaged with the story like you are going to do with actual Life is Strange, because there's so many twists and turns that Life is Strange has that you think is one thing, but it's actually something else. And definitely you get the characters that flesh out. So you as a person with your morals, you got more to choose and do, even though it's just like, did I make the right one? Okay, this is the way that it ended. So if I do a replay, I could choose to end it this other way and feel better or happy that I didn't make that choice. With Before the Storm, I what was the storm? What was before? Like what was I really feel like it lost its way halfway through episode 2 and 3. Like 3 just feel like it was cobbled together in a sense. So play if you're gonna play Life is Strange to get the full story. But if you like really want to just let me see what this series is about, and maybe this one's because it's short. I could get a better understanding. I can't recommend it on that level. I only can recommend it if you're going to play the first game, so you can get maybe a better context of what's going on and everything. Now, if you feel like you don't really care for it Before the Storm and you just want to play the first game, I think you'll get a lot of fulfillment from it. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So that's gonna be the show.
I was gonna say,
go ahead, Shay.
would you guys recommend playing Before the Storm before playing Life is Strange to new people, or do you say play as it came out?
Play it as it came out.
Yeah.
I agree, kind of, because Life is Strange hooked me. I think if you play the first one, it might not hook you as much, but you might get an understanding of what Life is Strange is later on. If you do it that way as well. So we should put it up on when this episode comes out. We should put it out as a poll and ask, because I'm curious what people think about that.
Yeah. Well, everybody, that's gonna be it. We are playing Life is Strange 2, and I have a ton of thoughts, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys when we have this discussion. But Courtney, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, or you can find me on Twitch. It's Cordy_Yikes for both. Yeah. I'll be playing Life is Strange, so definitely go hang out there.
Shay, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at StillSaneShane. You can find my articles at Boss Rush Network and at Another Zelda podcast, as well as some podcasts.
Celeste, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at FairyCrypt, and I'm also with Another Zelda podcast for articles, and I also help to host the 1v1 series. I've interviewed all of these fine people, and I'm excited to continue working with them.
Yes. You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode and on Instagram. You can also find me on our Discord with the other Boss Rush crew as we talk games, snacks, and more. You can find me on Nintendo Pop Block, Talk the Walk, Nintendo Expansion Pass, and other podcasts like Ranking Nintendo and Standard Definition. If you want to guys check out more of our content, you can go on our YouTube page at Boss Rush Network, or you can check out our main website, bossrush.net, for written articles, editorials, reviews, more of our podcasts, and just getting to know some how-tos if you are interested in finding how to do things in game. With that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. We will see you next time for Life is Strange 2. I am pausing because I had to take a breath because that game came to my mind, and I'm just like, we're going to have a really good discussion. And just let everybody know that in November we are doing Life is Strange 3 True Colors, so you guys can play that. And we're doing Detroit Become Human in December. So that is our leading up to the end of the year of the games that we will be playing for Talk the Walk, and we will find out what work we're going to do for January. I think it's going to be very interesting what we're going to do for January. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Talk the Walk. Bye, everybody.
Take care.